All right, ready to dive into some business secrets.
Always.
We're cracking open Jim Collins' Good to Great.
Ah, a classic.
The book that, figures out what makes companies truly exceptional.
Yeah.
It's about more than just, doing okay.
Right.
Have you ever wondered what makes some businesses just soar?
Totally.
While others just kind of plateau?
Yeah.
We're going to find out.
Let's do it.
It's not just like a tiny edge.
No, not at all.
We're talking companies that just crush the market.
Consistently.
Sometimes by an insane amount.
Absolutely.
Think about a company's stock, right?
Yeah.
What if your investment grew not just a little,
Right.
but 6.9 times the market average
Wow.
over 15 years?
Impressive.
That's what good to great companies did.
Yeah. That's the kind of performance we're talking about.
And this research,
Oh, yeah.
it's not just stories and anecdotes.
No.
Collins and his team dug into the data,
Hard data.
analyzed company cultures, leadership,
Everything.
the whole nine yards.
To really try and understand it.
Okay, before we go too far,
Sure.
how do we even define great?
So greatness here, it's measured by how much a company beats the market
Okay.
over a long time.
So not just a good year or two.
No.
More like consistent growth over 15 years or more.
At least.
These companies weren't just lucky.
Nope.
This is about sustained success.
Long term.
What's the secret?
Well, one of the things that surprised Collins was what didn't matter.
Okay.
Things we usually think equals success,
Yeah.
like big-name CEOs, huge salaries,
Yeah.
even super detailed strategies. It wasn't about those things.
So not about flash and hype.
No, not really.
It's almost a relief,
I know, right?
Take the CEOs, for example.
Okay.
10 out of 11 of them
Uh-huh.
came from inside the company.
From the ranks.
They weren't rock star hires.
No.
Brought in to shake things up.
Nope.
So not about flashy hires.
Yeah.
It's got to be something else.
Exactly.
What was it?
One of the most interesting things was level 5 leadership.
Level 5 leadership.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of mysterious.
Maybe a little bit.
What's that all about?
So imagine a leader
Okay.
with intense will, but also incredible humility.
Interesting combination.
Right.
So not the loud in-your-face type.
Not necessarily.
Not the ones always in the spotlight.
Not usually.
So what drives them?
They have this deep sense of purpose.
Okay.
A real desire to build something great.
Not ego or money.
No, not primarily.
I can see how that might be overlooked.
Definitely.
In a world that often equates leadership with being the loudest voice.
Absolutely.
Do you have an example of this level 5 leadership in action?
Oh, for sure. Think about Darwin Smith.
Darwin Smith.
He was the CEO of Kimberly-Clark during their big transformation.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
He was pretty unassuming,
Uh-huh.
but he made a bold move, sold off their paper mills.
Whoa, really?
Yep, to focus completely on consumer products.
That's a huge change.
It is.
It takes guts to go against the grain like that.
It does, especially with your core business.
That's a hallmark of a level 5 leader, huh?
Definitely.
They committed to doing what's right for the company,
Unwavering commitment,
even if it means tough choices.
even unpopular ones.
So not about making a splash.
No,
It's about making the right decision,
exactly.
even if it's hard.
Even then,
It seems like this humility thing is a big theme in Good to Great,
it is.
not hype.
Right.
These leaders weren't focused on their personal brands,
No, they were focused on something bigger.
on building something lasting.
Yeah, something truly impactful.
It's kind of refreshing, isn't it?
It is.
In a world obsessed with self-promotion,
Yeah,
to see that true leadership is about substance.
it's not just style.
Absolutely. Now, Good to Great also talks about this first who, then what principle.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
What's the idea behind that?
It flips the script on how we usually do strategy.
Okay.
Instead of figuring out your destination first,
Yeah.
you focus on getting the right people on board.
Interesting.
It's make sure you have a great team before you decide where the bus is going.
Makes sense. I mean, if everyone's pulling in different directions, it doesn't matter how good your plan is.
Nope.
You're not getting anywhere.
Exactly.
And Wells Fargo is a great example of this in action, right?
Perfect example.
During their acquisition of Crocker Bank,
Yeah.
they were really picky about who they kept
Incredibly selective.
to protect their culture
Exactly.
and make sure everyone was aligned.
100%.
Sounds like they were willing to make tough calls
Oh, yeah.
about people, even during a big merger.
They knew it was important
Yeah.
to get the right people.
For long-term success.
Exactly.
Even if it meant hard choices in the short term.
Yep. They were playing the long game.
Okay, this might sound weird, but Good to Great also talks about confronting the brutal facts.
Yeah, that's crucial.
Wouldn't you think successful companies would focus on the positive?
It's tempting, right?
Yeah.
But these companies, they did something different.
What do they do?
They made it okay to talk about the bad stuff.
Really?
They created environments where the truth could be spoken.
Even if it was uncomfortable.
Especially then.
How do you even create that kind of culture?
It's tough, but they had some specific practices.
Like what?
First, they led with questions, not answers.
Questions.
Yeah, like a leader constantly asking why.
Interesting.
Until they truly understood the situation.
Sounds like an investigator almost.
It is, kind of.
Instead of just giving orders,
yeah,
they're trying to uncover the truth.
Even if it's ugly.
It takes humility to admit you don't have all the answers.
It does.
And a willingness to learn.
From mistakes.
Exactly.
Like Philip Morris, for example.
What did they do?
They openly talked about their 7UP failure.
Oh, wow.
Not to blame anyone.
But to learn.
To extract those valuable lessons.
So you've got the right people on the bus.
Yep.
You're facing the facts head on.
Uh-huh.
What's next?
That's where the hedgehog concept comes in.
Hedgehog concept.
Yeah.
What is that exactly?
It's like the guiding star for your strategy.
Okay.
Imagine 3 circles overlapping.
3 circles.
The first is what you could be the best in the world at.
Okay.
The second, what really drives your economic engine.
Got it.
And the third, what you're truly passionate about.
It's like finding that sweet spot.
Exactly.
Where your talent, business, and passion all line up.
Boom. That's it.
So it's not about being everything to everyone.
Nope.
It's about mastering your niche.
The thing that resonates with your core.
And Walgreens is a great example of that, right?
A perfect one.
Their hedgehog concept was all about convenience.
And high profit per customer.
So that being everything to everyone,
no,
but being the best at one thing.
Exactly. Good to great companies, they don't spread themselves thin.
They double down.
Double down on what they do best.
And build their strategy around it.
Yep.
Now, what about this culture of discipline?
Oh, that's essential.
What does that even mean?
It's not about being rigid or controlling.
No?
It's about fostering a culture where everyone is motivated, accountable, and committed to excellence.
I can see how that goes with the first 2 thing.
Yeah.
Get the right people, the discipline follows naturally.
You got it.
The book talks about this triathlete, right?
Dave Scott, Ironman triathlete.
What did he do?
He would rinse his cottage cheese.
Rinse it.
To get rid of extra weight.
Now that's dedication.
Right.
But it shows you, right, consistent action gets results.
Even the small things.
Okay, so we've got level 5 leadership.
Yep.
Getting the right people. Facing the facts.
Right.
Finding your hedgehog concept.
Yes.
Building that culture of discipline?
It's all connected.
What about technology?
That's interesting.
What do you mean?
This was all before the internet blew up.
Oh, right.
But even then, good to great companies used tech strategically. As an accelerator.
Not a main driver.
No.
So it's not about chasing the newest gadget.
Nope.
It's about choosing tech that fits your goals.
And enhances your strength.
Like Kroger with those barcode scanners.
Exactly.
Or Gillette with their fancy laser welding.
For their razors.
And what about Nucor?
They were pioneers in mini-mill tech.
For steel.
Yep.
So tech that supported their hedgehog concept.
Always.
Not just random tech for the sake of it.
Nope.
It's about being smart with tech.
Just like everything else.
Now, good to great also talks about this flywheel effect.
Ah, the flywheel.
What's that all about?
Imagine pushing this giant, heavy flywheel.
Okay.
It's tough at first.
Yeah?
But as you keep pushing, it gains momentum. Eventually, it's spinning so fast, it's unstoppable.
That's building a great company.
That's it.
So, consistent effort over time.
That's the key.
Not expecting instant results.
No quick fixes.
And Collins compares this to the doom loop, right?
Oh, the doom loop.
Where companies just jump from one thing to the next.
Chasing fads.
Without any focus.
No consistent.
Just reacting, not building.
Exactly.
And Kroger's a great example of the flywheel effect, right?
A perfect one.
Slow and steady transformation.
Decades.
Sticking to their hedgehog concept.
Yep.
Investing in people and tech.
Steadily.
Building momentum.
Until they dominated.
And A&P, their competitor.
They fell into the doom loop.
They did, huh?
They kept reacting to Kroger.
Oh, no.
Changing strategies.
Without a clear direction.
Yep. They never built momentum.
So the key is to avoid those quick fixes.
Yes.
Focus on the long term.
Build a solid foundation.
It's like running a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. You need endurance and strategy.
And a willingness to stick with it.
Absolutely.
Now, it's interesting that Good to Great was a prequel to Collins' other book, Built to Last.
It's fascinating how they connect.
Built to Last looks at companies that have stayed great for a long, long time.
For decades.
Even centuries.
Yeah, the true giants.
And when you look at those companies,
yeah,
you see they followed a lot of the Good to Great principles.
Early on.
Back when they were first starting out.
Before they were famous.
So Good to Great lays the groundwork.
You could say that.
And then Built to Last shows us how to stay great.
For the long haul.
It's like 2 chapters in the story of building an amazing company.
I like that analogy.
First, you become great.
Right.
Then you figure out how to stay great.
Makes sense.
It's like Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone thinks of Sam Walton as this overnight success.
The classic entrepreneur story.
But it wasn't really like that, was it?
Not really.
Walmart was a slow burn.
2 decades.
Wow. Walton experimented, learned, and slowly built momentum.
Just like the companies in Good to Great?
So it wasn't just about a brilliant idea.
Nope.
Or a charismatic leader.
It was more than that.
It was about execution.
Yes.
Discipline.
You definitely.
A focus on constantly getting better.
Continuous improvement.
Exactly. And what about Hewlett-Packard?
HP.
They were in Built to Last, right?
They were.
Bill Hewlett and David Packard.
The founder.
They were classic level 5 leaders, right?
They were.
Humble and driven.
They built a company with strong values.
And a commitment to innovation.
And their employees.
And those values became the foundation for their success.
Absolutely.
In Built to Last, they talk about this core ideology.
Right.
These enduring principles that guide a company.
Through thick and thin.
So it's like having a set of belief that act as your compass.
Exactly.
No matter what happens.
Right.
And the Good to Great companies.
Yeah.
They had this too, didn't they?
They did, like Nucor, the steel company.
What did they do?
They had this really egalitarian culture.
Egalitarian.
Everyone was treated equally.
The CEM too.
Everyone.
Wow. I remember reading about them.
Yeah.
They got rid of executive perks.
Yep.
Made everyone wear the same hard hats.
No hierarchy.
A great example of how a company's values can shape its culture.
And its success.
So what are the big takeaways here?
From both books.
Yeah. What can we learn from these companies?
Well, first of all, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
Building a great company takes time.
And discipline.
And commitment.
To always getting better.
Right. And it's not about magic solutions.
Or chasing fads.
Exactly.
It's about figuring out what works for you.
Company, your team, your life.
And then sticking to it.
With focus.
It's a reminder that greatness is a choice.
It's not just luck.
You have to actively pursue it.
Exactly.
And it's a choice anyone can make.
Doesn't matter your background or your industry.
So if someone wants to make that choice.
Yeah.
Where do they begin?
Start with some tough questions.
Like what?
What are you passionate about?
Okay.
What could you be the best in the world at?
Right.
What drives your success?
The 3 circles.
The hedgehog concept?
Passion, talent, and economic engine.
That's it.
Once you know that,
yeah,
then you build your culture of discipline.
Set clear goals.
Develop good habits.
Hold yourself accountable.
Be committed to growth.
To constant improvement.
And surround yourself with the right people.
People who support you.
Challenge you.
Help you grow.
So take those principles.
Leadership, discipline, focus.
And apply them to your own life.
To your work, your relationships, everything.
It's about making good to great a way of life.
Exactly.
Now, we talk about companies that struggle to stay great.
Yeah.
Can you give an example?
The Kodak comes to mind.
Kodak.
They were the kings of photography.
Right.
But they missed the digital revolution.
They did, huh?
They were so focused on the past that they missed the future.
They were too attached to their old ways.
You could say that.
Even as the world was changing.
They didn't adapt.
They didn't see digital coming.
Not soon enough.
It's a lesson in staying nimble.
Being adaptable.
Open to new ideas.
Exactly.
Even when you're at the top.
Especially then.
Now, one of the key principles is confronting the brutal facts.
It is.
But how do you balance that with being positive?
It's a good question.
It's about finding that balance, right?
Between realism and optimism.
So you're honest about the challenges.
Yep.
But you still believe you can overcome them.
That's it.
Not blind optimism.
No.
Not naive pessimism either.
Right.
It's about seeing things clearly.
But with hope.
Realistic optimism.
That's the term.
Now, the first two, then what? Principle.
Yeah.
How do you apply that to your own life?
Start with your values.
Okay.
And your goals.
Right.
Who shares your vision?
Who are those people?
Who inspires?
Who makes you better?
Exactly.
And sometimes you have to recognize when someone isn't right for the journey anymore.
It happens.
And be willing to make tough decisions.
It's part of it.
It's about building the right team.
People who share your values.
Support your vision.
And are committed to excellence.
This has been a fascinating look at Good to Great.
It's a powerful book.
It's got so much to teach us.
About business and about life.
We'll be back in a moment with part 2.
Can't wait.
In the meantime, think about your own hedgehog concept.
What are you passionate about?
What could you be the best in the world at?
And what drives your success?
It's amazing how these principles can apply to so many things.
Right.
And speaking of applying principles, one of the most interesting parts of Good to Great is the connection to Built to Last.
It's like, how do you take that initial leap
to greatness?
Yeah, and then how do you keep it going?
That's what Built to Last is all about, right?
Exactly. Companies that have stayed great for, like, forever.
Decades, even centuries.
The real titans of industry.
And when you look closely at those companies,
Yeah.
you see they were doing a lot of the good to great stuffs early on.
Back in the day.
When they were just getting started.
Before they became household names.
So it's like good to great sets the stage.
Lays the foundation.
And then built to last shows us how to build on that foundation.
To create something that's really lasts.
So it's not just about getting to the top.
No.
It's about staying there.
For the long haul.
Take Walmart, for example.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone thinks of Sam Walton as this overnight success.
The classic entrepreneur story.
Right. But it wasn't like that at all, was it?
It wasn't.
Walmart was built brick by brick.
Over time.
Over 2 decades, actually.
Wow.
Walton, he was always trying new things.
Experimenting.
Learning, adapting.
And slowly, steadily.
Building momentum.
Just like those good to great companies.
So it wasn't just about a brilliant idea?
No.
Or a charismatic leader?
It was more...
It was about the work.
The execution.
The discipline.
Absolutely.
And a relentless commitment to getting better.
Continuous improvement.
Every single day. And Hewlett-Packard,
HP.
another company built to last.
Yep.
Bill Hewlett and David Packard, the founders.
True visionaries.
They were level 5 leaders, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
Humble but driven.
They built a company with real values.
A commitment to doing things right.
To innovation.
And to their people.
They valued their employees.
And those values.
Yeah.
They became the bedrock of HP's success.
They did.
And built to last, they talk about core ideology.
Right.
The company's guiding principles.
The things they believe in no matter what.
So it's like having a North Star, right?
A set of beliefs that guide you through everything.
Through good times and bad.
Through the ups and downs.
And the good to great companies had this too, right?
They did.
This strong sense of core values.
That's Nucor, the steel company.
What did they do?
They had a really unique culture.
How so?
It was all about equality.
Everyone was treated the same.
Everyone.
The CEO, too.
The CEO, the managers, the frontline workers, everyone.
Wow. I remember reading about that.
Yeah, it was pretty radical for the time.
No executive perks.
Nope.
Everyone wore the same hard hat.
No special treatment.
It's a great example of how a company's values shape its culture.
And its success.
So, looking at all of this, what are the big lessons?
The key takeaways.
Yeah. What can we learn from these companies?
First off, building a great company takes time.
Patience.
Patience, discipline, commitment.
It's not about finding a magic bullet.
No shortcuts.
Or chasing the latest trend.
It's about finding what works for you.
For your company, your team, your life.
And then doing it consistently.
It's a reminder that greatness is a choice.
It's not something that just happens.
You have to decide you want it.
And then go after.
And it's a choice anyone can make.
Absolutely.
No matter who you are or what you do.
It's about mindset.
So, if someone wants to be great,
yeah,
where do they start?
Ask yourself some tough questions.
Like what?
What are you truly passionate about?
Okay.
What could you be the best at?
Right.
What drives your success?
The hedgehog concept.
Passion, talent, and economic engine.
Find that sweet spot.
And then build a culture of discipline around it.
Set goals, develop good habits, hold yourself accountable.
And be committed to constant improvement.
Surround yourself with the right people.
People who lift you up.
People who challenge you.
And help you grow.
So take those good to great principles.
Leadership, discipline, focus.
And apply them to your own life.
To everything you do.
It's about making good to great a way of life.
That's it.
Now, you mentioned that some companies struggle to stay great.
It happens.
Can you give an example?
Well, Kodak is a classic case.
Kodak.
They were the kings of photography.
Right back in the day.
But they completely missed the digital revolution.
They didn't see it coming.
They were so focused on their past success, they didn't adapt to the changing world.
They clung to the old ways.
Even when it was clear things were changing.
It's a lesson in staying flexible, right?
Absolutely.
Being willing to change.
And to challenge your own assumptions.
Even when you're at the top.
Especially then.
Now, one of the big things in good to great is confronting the brutal facts.
Right.
But how do you balance that with, staying positive?
It's about finding that middle ground.
Between realism and optimism.
You got to be honest about the problem.
But also believe you can solve them.
Exactly.
Not being naive.
No.
But not being a downer either.
Right.
It's about seeing things clearly.
But with a sense of hope.
What'd you call it?
Realistic optimism.
Realistic optimism.
That's the sweet spot.
Now, about that, first who? Then what principle?
Yeah.
How do you apply that to your own life?
It starts with knowing what you stand for.
Your values.
Right. And your goals.
Who shares your vision?
Who are the people that make you better?
And sometimes?
Sometimes what?
You got to let go of people who aren't on the same path.
It's tough, but it's true.
It's about building the right team.
People who are with you all the way.
Who believe in what you're doing.
And are committed to excellence.
This has been a fascinating look at good to great.
And built to last.
So much to learn from these companies.
Timeless principles.
We'll be right back with the final part.
Looking forward to it.
In the meantime, think about those big questions.
What are you truly passionate about?
What could you be the best in the world at?
And what drives your success?
Thinking about all these companies that made that jump.
From good to great.
And some even further.
Built to last.
It makes you wonder, is there like a secret formula?
Right. Some kind of pattern.
That connect it all.
That's the thing about Collins's work.
Yeah.
He helps us see those patterns.
The underlying principles.
That work across industry.
Across time. So if we had to boil it all down.
To the essentials.
What would those be?
The key ingredients for greatness.
Whether it's in business or, in life.
Well, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Knowing your purpose.
Okay.
Understanding what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
What you can truly excel at.
Your hedgehog concept.
Exactly. That intersection of passion, talent, and, making it work in the real world.
Making it sustainable.
Right. And then building a culture of discipline.
Discipline.
Not in a, strict or controlling way.
No.
It's more about empowerment.
Empowering people.
To be their best. To hold themselves accountable.
To high standards.
Exactly. Creating an environment where people are motivated.
Driven by a shared vision.
And committed to excellence.
And we can't forget about facing those brutal facts.
Oh, that's crucial.
Having the courage to be honest.
About the challenges.
Even when it's tough.
Even when it's uncomfortable.
And of course, the right people.
On the bus.
People who said it.
Who share your values.
Support your vision.
And are in it for the long haul.
It's about building a team that lifts you up.
That challenges you.
It helps you grow.
Exactly. And in the end, I think it's important to remember that greatness is a journey.
Not a destination.
It's about consistent effort.
Day after day.
Year after year.
It's the long game.
Staying focused.
Never giving up.
And enjoying the ride.
Because building something great.
It should be rewarding.
It should be fulfilling.
It should light you up.
This has been a fantastic deep dive into good to great.
And its impact on businesses and, just life in general.
It's a book that keeps on giving.
Inspiring us.
Challenging us.
To be our best.
So if you're feeling inspired,
yeah,
pick up a copy of Good to Great.
Explore these principles for yourself.
And as you think about your own journey
to greatness,
remember the words of Jim Collins.
Greatness is not a function of circumstance.
Greatness is a matter of conscious choice.
And discipline.
We hope this deep dive has given you some new ideas.
And maybe even sparked a passion.
For building something truly great.
In your own life.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
Keep striving for greatness.